guys learn about yourselves in that first exhibition?
We learned a lot. We finally were able to play somebody else, which was fun. To all be on the same team, be on the same bench. We played very well. We were very unselfish, didn't have many turnovers. So, we're just trying to continue to, push that agenda and, keep getting better as the season goes on.
I guess that was also the first outside opponent you guys could practice that pace against, pushing the ball up into the front court, getting shots off quick. I guess how comfortable do you think the team is now with that style of play, and how do you feel that in that regard the performance was last week?
Yeah, I think we were really good pushing the pace. We had a lot of transition opportunities, a lot of transition points. We got up a lot of threes and things like that. So that's kind of the things that Coach Pope and the staff have been preaching all year. And, we were able to finally execute it. So we got to continue doing that. I think it's going to be big for us this year.
We also got our first look at some of the freshmen, especially Trent and Travis, being only 18, getting that kind of performance in front of their home state crowd. What's impressed you the most about Trent and Travis so far this year and what they were able to show last week?
Well, for Trent, he came in and hit like 4 straight threes, something like that. So it was really good to see that from him. He's just been great, just an energy guy, effort guy, all year. And then Travis, he's been growing as a player this whole time. Everybody knows he's a scorer, but his playmaking, his defense, his rebounding, all that has grown. So it was good to see them have a good game.
Obviously, you look at the scoreboard and there's a lot of good things to take away, but what was maybe one thing Coach Pope wasn't happy about from your performance last week?
You know what? He didn't say anything he wasn't happy about, but there was definitely some things we could have fixed. There was a couple possessions on defense where we kind of got lost. Some offensive rebounds they got that we want to hit better. But overall, I feel like we had a really good game. So we really don't try to focus on the negatives. He always shows us all the positive clips. Always shows us what we want to do and not what we don't want to do. So it was a very positive film.
You mentioned some things that you guys can work on. You've got one more exhibition game, and then they start to count. So what do you hope to see from yourself, your teammates on film after this last exhibition game?
Just continue to play free and confident. I feel like we did that in the last exhibition. This next exhibition is going to be another good game. Minnesota State's a really good team. They won the national championship for Division II. So, just for us to continue to, not play, to the competition, but play to, our standards, I think it's going to be big for us.
Was there anything different about going through a game day routine at Rupp Arena under Coach Pope? Anything that he does differently?
Only thing I'll say is different, at the end of shoot around, we do 5 minutes where it's no talking. We're just shooting free throw. I feel that's the only difference that I really, that was a little different for sure.
Does he tell you not to talk? Or?
Yeah, he said no talking, 5 minutes, nobody can talk. It's quiet in the gym and we're just shooting free throws.
Does it help?
I think so, yeah.
How confident of a shooter are you playing for Pope?
I'm very confident. Also playing with all these other guys who can shoot. So, it's fun to be able to work out with them. Because they're shooting so well, I get to, be able to have my confidence up because, I feel like I'm a great shooter as well. So I'll just continue to, put my work in, just along with those guys. And just playing with better shooters helps you. just your confidence just rises because everybody else can do it. And you don't want to be the one that's not. So, I put the work in, and I'm just excited to show it this year.
Does it help playing for a coach as greatest shooter of all time, greatest defender of all time, who's just endless instilling of confidence in you guys?
Yeah, no, for sure. He just tells us to let it go. If you're open, let it go. If you feel comfortable with it, we feel comfortable with it. So, I'm very excited to play for him.
You mentioned Minnesota State a second ago. Obviously, they won the D2 national title last year. So just in the scout, is there anything in particular that coaches have emphasized about a specific thing they want you guys to guard against, or like a style of play that's kind of a hallmark of how they run things?
Yeah, they're a really good team. I think they have 3 or 4 returners from last year's team. Their main scorers was number 1 and number 23. Those are guys that we really zoned in and scout, but they had a couple transfers that are really good. So we're just going to continue to play hard. Just try to stop their actions and things like that.
For you, what was the process just getting adjusted to this offense and tempo? I know you played in the same offense scheme for 4 years. Just how comfortable do you feel, and what was it like just kind of getting used to everything right in the point?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of reps this summer and fall. At my other school, we didn't play at the same exact pace. So in practice, we just going up and down, getting tired. But now I feel like my conditioning is really good, and it's been cool to play in this offense. I mean, I've never scored 123 points in my life, and that was amazing to me. So I'm just grateful that we're able to play this way, and we got the pieces, we got the depth to do this all year.
You guys have talked about trying to bond as a team and come together in kind of a short amount of time. Do you feel like it's translated on the court, and is that a relief?
Oh yeah, for sure it's translated. I mean, we did a lot of things this summer and fall, to get close. And, just going back to last game, 32 assists. That's a lot of assists, and I think that just goes from just us being together, knowing each other, want to see each other succeed, and it was great for us.
Is that a relief though? Okay, the work we put in.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were glad to finally get a win in Rupp and play in front of the fans.
11-6-6-6-2, I think was the official stat. Is that just something that kind of gives you more pride than a 30-point night for you individually?
Man, I just try to go out there and do what I can do. I'm not really a big stat guy. Those are great stats that night, but I just go out there and try to impact the game.
I think Pope said something like you got to watch your wallet around you because it's going to get stolen. Just that kind of confidence in you defensively. Just what does that do for your game?
Yeah, they give me the freedom to go out there and cause havoc defensively. So I just go out there and try to disrupt, make it hard for the opposing team. So just any way I can do that. It came in 6 steals that night, but one night it might just be 1 steal, but just holding somebody to a low number. So I just continue to just try my hardest to stop somebody.
Do you feel like you're the best perimeter defender in college basketball?
Yeah, I do feel like that.
Where did that come from? Like just that's your thing.
I'll say back when I was in AAU, maybe 10 years old, 11 years old. I have a coach, RIP, named Andre Spencer, and we used to play full court man to man. And he used to say, if your man scores, you coming out. If your man catches the ball, you coming out. If your man gets by you coming out. So it was like, I never wanted to come out. So I just continued to play hard defensively, and I started to learn to love it. And it just became my calling card, and I'm just good at it now. So I just continue to do it.
How have you seen your teammates get better because of how good you are defensively? Because it seems like they all, every time you talk to them, they say, I'm sick and tired of Lamont guarding me 94 feet. I'm ready for, to show what I can do against somebody else for a change.
Yeah, I just try to test them. I just try to test everybody. I know, deep in the year, we're going to need that. Sometimes we're going to play some, really good defenders. And, I think, me doing that in practice, summer and fall, is going to prepare them for that moment. They're not going to be, it's not going to be something they've never seen, something that they can handle. And, I think it's going to be big for us, throughout the year.
Is there one player that you think has kind of grown the most as a result of having to go against you?
Probably Kerr. I've been guarding Kerr a lot. This whole summer fall, point guard. So I've seen him grow a lot. He's a tough guard anyway. He's a good player. But he's been continuing to grow his game, and he's going to be great for us.
He's the one guy fans haven't gotten to see much of yet. Just what is that head-to-head battle like, and what is Kerr at his best?
Yeah, Kerr is a great shooter. You can't give him no space, but also the pace that he plays with. He cuts hard. He pushes the ball up the floor, and then just him off the pick and roll is very dangerous because he can either come off and shoot, or he's a great passer. He finds guys, and on the perimeter, hits the roll, well. So he's a very dangerous player.
Andrew talked about how this week of focus is finishing cuts. Obviously, from a post perspective, we've heard how that helps him. Would you just talk about from your perspective how that's going to help the team as a whole?
Yeah, finishing cuts is very important. Especially the pace that we play with. It's going to be tough for everybody to guard us if we're cutting hard and playing fast. And then for me, Amari and Brandon, they're really good passers. So, for us to cut is very important because, they'll find us. And, it's very inviting for us to cut because we know that they're going to pass it to us. And I think it's going to be good for us.
Who stood out as your guys' most vocal leader in last week's game?
Most vocal leader in last week's game? That's a good question. I'll say probably Jackson. Jackson was doing a lot of talking out there. When we got to the timeouts, he was mainly the main one talking for defensive mishaps and things that we want to do offensively. So I'll say Jackson.
Is that surprising, or has he been someone that's been stepping up in practice as a leader?
Yeah, he's been stepping up a lot as a leader. Going back to this summer, because he's the only one that really played with Coach Pope, so he was giving us a lot of the tips and how things go with him. So he's been doing a great job being vocal and helping us out.
And what were some of Pope's emphases after the game? Obviously, you guys had a really high scoring night. Things can always be better. What are some of the improvements he wants to see for this week?
Like you said. Or like Andrew said, finishing cuts, playing at a higher pace for longer, trying to get 5-6 minute spurts where you just going your hardest and your brother comes in and does the same thing. So I think that's going to be our main focus for this next game.
And then how was the energy just to finally get to play another opponent? What was the morale like in the locker room after the win?
It was amazing. For me, I never scored 123 points, so I was very excited. And I think a bunch of us, were really excited to actually play against someone else, get a big win, and also just play in front of in front of our fans for the first time. That was, really great for us. So we're gonna be excited for this whole year to go out there and win for them.
Obviously, just an exhibition game, but how did the fans kind of compare to what you've seen in the past?
They showed up. They showed up. So we were very excited. It was loud in there from the tip off, from our first bucket. I think Andrew got the first bucket, so it was loud. And even I think I shot my first three. You can hear it was a fun night for us.
Outside of the finishing cuts tomorrow, what's another big emphasis?
Just defensively, locking in defensively. We know Minnesota State runs some great stuff. They got D2 national champs, so they got some really good players. So just for us to lock in on that end, I think that's big for us for this next game.
Ortega said after the win that you guys were trying to hold them to 40 points. Kentucky West End. What's kind of what you guys are hoping for going into this one?
Yeah, we had tried to hold them to 40 because we had them at 22, I think, at halftime. So we was like, let's hold them under that. Let's get lower than that. So we don't really have a target number, but any low numbers is going to be great.
Do you guys think that you're underrated at this point going into the year? It just feels like you're 8th in the SEC in the preseason rankings. Like, do you just kind of go into the season with kind of a chip on your shoulder, thinking that you guys have something to prove to those people that are doubting?
Yeah, I feel like we're a little underrated. We got a lot of good players, but a lot of us come from. We got some mid-major guys, some guys that haven't been on maybe the top radar, but. I think what's going to surprise people is just our connectiveness, the pace that we play. Coach Pope's offense is amazing, and I think defensively we're underrated too. I think we got a lot of great players and a lot of length. So I think it's going to be tougher for people to beat us. We just got to go out there and show them that's all it is.
32 assists, five turnovers. Have you seen that at any level?
No, very rarely. That's amazing. That just shows that we was protecting the ball very well and playing unselfish. So that's going to be hard to beat us if we keep doing things like that.
You say that Pope's offense. What have you guys adapted the most to, or what are you best at as far as his offensive schemes?
I think it's really just the pace that we go at. A lot of offenses, similar to other schools, but it's just like. And how fast we move. I think also just the players that we have. I think we got the perfect pieces, to fit for the offense. We got high level shooting. We got guys that can get in the paint. Our bigs are really good finishing at the rim. So I think it's just a collectiveness of all that.
Speaking of the pace, I know Amari mentioned last week that in the summer it wasn't the most fun conditioning, but you started to see the reasons why you conditioned the way you did. Are you starting to feel like those things making more sense now?
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense now. We did hate it in the summer and fall. We were running on the field or doing things on the court, but you know, it helped us all. You know, we're able to play at longer spurts for, you know, faster pace. You know, play very hard. So I think it was great for us.
Is your dad the biggest supporter on the play? I don't think I've ever seen your name pop up and him not retweet something.
Yeah, my dad is my biggest supporter for sure. He calls me his hero, so he always, well, on Twitter he's always retweeting things. He asked me today to go get a paper. I guess I was in it or something like that. So he's always, you know, wanting to get things out, or, you know, to see my name and things. So yeah, that's one of my biggest supporters. You know, we've been through a lot. So yeah, that's my guy right there.
Has it been an adjustment being so far away from home and kind of, you know, you being in college close to home within driving distance for so long, just the adjustment to coming all the way out here and being away from them?
For sure, an adjustment. I mean, like you said, I had they were an hour away from San Diego State. They were able to come to every home game. So, you know, it's been a little different, you know, not having to put nobody's name on the list for the home games here. But they'll be here for, you know, quite a few games. So I think it'll be all right. They're going to come out for a lot. So I'll be able to see him.
I think Pope said something about you being able to solve a Rubik's Cube in a minute. Is that right?
Yeah, I can solve a Rubik's Cube. My fastest is 44 seconds. But, you know, I learned it in high school. My senior year of high school, I had a teammate. He kept bringing it in. I was like, I'm going to solve it one day. It took me like 3 weeks to solve it. But then I just, you know, fell in love with it. I kept doing it. And I got faster and faster as the time went on. But I can't keep doing the under a minute all the time. I could do it, you know, sometimes, but I do it pretty fast.
So you have a hit single now. You can solve, like, what other hidden talents do you have?
Yeah. I don't know. I just do stuff. I don't know. I like puzzles, so I'll say that.
Do you have a record time with puzzles?
Nah. I don't have no record time. Like word puzzles, like word games and stuff like that. So I'll say that.